見物ではないか、増票。ギルガメッシュ。だがまどろっこしい。まどろっこしいぞ。ゲートオブバビロン。おいおいおい、宝具とか使うのは禁止だろ。俺がルールだ。はは。
Hello there, welcome to part 2 of the character reviews for Soul Knight's newest heroes. This time we're focusing on the Astromancer, the paid character of the two. If you want a review of the fighter and a quick look at the update as a whole, I recommend you go and watch my other video on. Then you can come back and watch this one. Like and subscribe for the well. Before we dive into the Astromancer's kit, I got two things to say. First off, we kinda brushed off the newest game. It's actually a rework of the first ever seasonal game what they added to Soul Knight, and it's pretty damn good. Obviously it won't replace Rosemary Island for me, although I think nothing will. But it is a nice fun time to relax between badass grinds. Definitely give it a go. And second off, it seems like people misinterpreted the grading system I started using. For reference, this isn't what I think the power tier of the character are. This is a grade on their design as a whole. Their visual design, gameplay, uniqueness, fun factor, etc. I might make a tier list based on gameplay along and later, although I doubt that because they tend to be not fun. But for now, these character review grades are purely about how the character is overall, and not just how good they are. Are we good? Alright, let's now talk about the Astromancer. A character that, surprisingly, a lot of people are calling awful, which is weird. Don't get me wrong, we'll see that he's not the strongest character of the game by any stretch of the imagination, but I wouldn't go to say he's awful, especially since he has iframes. It makes him like 3 tiers ahead of so many characters already, including paid ones by the way. But enough of this locker room talk, let's actually dive into the Astromancer's kit. The Astromancer is an invader character. Pretty low health and mediocre energy, but honestly that's kind of a luxury at this point. He costs $2, making him at the same price as these guys, but I would buy the Berserker and Demon Master first, since they are more fun in my opinion and they are more unique. He's one of the few paid iframes characters though, so he does fill a niche. Or just be a normal person and realize that he costs less than a goddamn sandwich and get him a few items. His starter weapon is a staff that shoots projectiles, and that's it. You know, Treadmaster, Custom Prince, and Physicist kinda set up a high bar for starter weapons. Everything else has been feeling underwhelming lately. This weapon isn't bad, but it's also just not interesting in the slightest. The same cannot be said, however, about his passive and skills. Or should I say, passives and skill. Before we talk about it, did you know that the description of his passive and skills alone is over 108 words? For reference, that is more words than the words used to describe the passive and all 3 skills of the Knight, Rogue, and Witch. And look, I get that characters need to have something unique, especially new ones, but this is more words per second than the average Eminem song, dude, what the fuck? Now usually this is the part where I explain the character passive, then the skill, but this character makes absolutely zero sense if you read it that way, so let me explain it my own way. The Astromancer has 3 passives, 2 passives to enhance the skill, and 1 passive related to the first skill only once upgraded. Remember that in these videos we assume that you fully maxed out the character. The 2 skills enhancing passives are exclusive to him, meaning that when he eventually gets another skill, these 2 will enhance it in its own way. His first passive is called Astrology. Hitting an enemy with your skill marks them with Astrology. At 3 stacks of Astrology, Astrology is triggered. Astrology. Granting skill empowerment and astral energy. What's astral energy? That is his second passive. Triggering astrology fills up his secondary resource meter with astral energy. At maxed out astral energy, his next use of the ability is empowered. This means that in the future, even if you're using other skills, these 2 passives will empower them as well. Now onto the third passive that is tied to his first skill, meaning his future skills won't have it. Walking around causes a shooting star to fall from the sky and follow you around. It deals damage if it collides with an enemy. So yes, you just walk around and watch as random stars blow up enemies. Triggering Astrology, his first passive, makes those shooting stars land directly on targets. Using the skill on the other hand transforms any existing shooting stars into darting stars that fall and chase enemies. What are darting stars? Well, that's a part of his skill. Using his skill makes him become immune to all damage and makes him move faster, allowing him to move through walls. Yes, he just kinda decides to assert dominance for a few seconds and then go back to normal. He summons darting stars that attack targets. He also transforms all current shooting stars from his third passive into darting stars. Each shooting star transformed extends the skill duration. Using up astral energy makes him also create a damage reduction zone after the skill is done, similar to the Taiwo's second skill. Okay, I know you're even more confused now, and I agree, this feels like a goddamn League of Legends champion spotlight video.
Simple stuff! Nice! Not complicated dog shit. Oh, fuck's sakes, here we go.
So let's just try to make it simple. When you use the skill, you get iframes that move faster and deal damage. Deal damage 3 times to enemies to get stars to fall onto enemies. Fill up your meter to get damage protection around you. And walking around makes you drop things from the sky that also deal damage but also turn into bonus damage. It also increases your skill duration, but also fills up your bonus damage from the meter from that power. Anyways, this is the officer's first skill. So that is a lot of words with just covers for the character. So you'd think it'd be like the fighter or the airbender or something. A character with a lot of nuance that needs to be played perfectly and be mastered to get the most out of him, right?
No.
You see, all this yapping just happens passively. You don't need to do much. You just walk around using the skill to dodge fire and everything just takes more damage and bonus damage here and starts here and there, and you don't need to aim. You don't need to min-max, you just kinda use it like the assassin per skill without the cooldown reset, so you don't even care about that part. It can deal a lot of damage, but half the time you can't control it. Triggering astrology depends on the shooting star's auto-aim decides to be nice that day, and your dodging stars just kinda calm down and do their thing. Don't get me wrong, being an iframes character gives him a decent skill ceiling, but his kit overall just feels very brain dead. You walk around and stuff just happens around. At least the custom prince has his sleep and whatever the hell is going on with his second skill to make him more interesting. But the Astromancer unfortunately falls into the WM1 design philosophy of characters. Does this make him a bad character? No, he has a lot of potential and will do fine at the hands of a good player, but it does make him feel generic because you just walk and things die. And I think that's why most people brush him off. Even though game-wise he does feel lackluster, visually the Astromancer is easily S tier. Seriously, his colors pop like crazy, his design with the blindfold is amazing and I really like the overall concept. This is how you make a fantasy character look modern, not whatever this is. Although, I'm not sure about the name, why are we getting a third Mancer? I don't mind the idea, just that maybe a different name would have worked better. It's not much of a problem though, so it's just a little observation. So with all that being said, what will I grade the Astromancer? Well, he has a lot of cool potential, but he does fall down kinda short. I think his starter could be more interesting, maybe letting it stack to astrology, and his first skill is definitely a bit boring. It does have a lot of words and it does have a lot of functions, but it's just damage and iframes, and that's it. Although future skills will help him. As he stands though, he's a bit of a disappointing character, but his potential and visual design do lift him up quite a bit, and I do believe that in the future he'll be much better. And I don't believe he's as awful as people think he is, because he definitely has a lot of potential and he definitely deals a lot of damage, so you can't complain about that. And as such, I will be grading him a B grade. I'll definitely be keeping an eye on this little Astromancer.
We will watch your career with great interest.
Thanks for watching, and I'd like to give you all a special thanks for getting me close to 1000 subscribers. It's been a dream of mine ever since I started making channels, and the fact that we're this close really warms my heart, and I thank you guys for it. Subscribe and ring the bell to not miss my future uploads, and let me know what characters you want me to talk about next. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.